Hi, I'm Jeff Bermudez.
And I'm Omar Kadri.
Welcome to The Collective Journey.
Join us as we explore some of the most promising talents, thought leaders, and change influencers in our city and beyond.
As we uncover these hidden gems, I hope you'll find that they're people just like you and I, with hopes and dreams and gifts that they would like to show to the world.
It is our mission to share their work, to share their story, and to appreciate what our community is capable of producing.
This is my adventure.
This is your adventure.
This is our collective journey. Welcome to The Collective Journey. Today we are joined by an aspiring comedian named Chris Levogiannis. He's recently gotten into stand-up comedy. Now, he's not one to pigeonhole himself to just that one genre. As you guys will hear, his take on humor has evolved over the years. And as is the case with a lot of comedians, the road to comedy involved emotionally difficult experiences. Whether that was a loss of family, needing a direction in life, or simply just overcoming the fear of bombing a comedy set. Join us as I interview one of our most unique guests yet, Chris Levogiannis.
All right, hi everyone. First of all, thank you to Omar. And sorry, I don't even think we've really introduced each other. So this will be fun.
It's Jeff.
Jeff?
Yes.
Like when friends and worlds collide. No, but I'm Christos. I don't have a last name. That's not true. I just think it's cool to only have one name, like Seal or Madonna. I'm 25, and I guess if you want to put labels on it, right now I'm an aspiring comedian, arguably professional because I've been paid, and I've been told that's the threshold from amateur to professional, so it's pretty cool. But it kind of started, I guess, because I wasn't really comfortable putting my... It's very weird, actually, to go on a tangent. I'm currently pursuing something where you need to, like, actively put yourself out there and, like, do stuff like this. But I'm very, like, low-key almost, I guess. So, like, I kind of like to live, like, a private life, and it's, like, I don't have Facebook. Like, I do to, like, network with other comedians, but it's, like, it's not my name. Like, all my social media, like, is very private because I just, like, I'm a bit apprehensive about, like, sharing that with the world. Like, I don't mind going up on a stage and telling jokes, but it's, like, you don't need to know what my last name is to, like, to get the punchline, you know?
So on Facebook, it's just, like, your stage name?
It's not even a stage name. My stage name, I guess you could argue, would be just Christos.
Okay.
But, like, it's just like a fake name that, like, I don't know. I guess for me, it's you just need to know I'm Christos. I think that's kind of the problem I'm running into here, Omar, where like tell them what you do, and it's the easiest way is to just say comedian or entertainer, I guess, because there's like a lot of facets to what I'm doing and my ulterior motives that like it's very. I almost feel like not fair for me to say like to myself like you're just a comedian. Before I was doing stand-up, I was obsessive on Snapchat. Like, I would be on every night posting. Granted, like, there were, like, some alcohol abuse issues at the time. Really? Like, I just drink every night after work because I worked a weird shift. Overnight, I'd have a day off, work until 3 to 10, overnight day off. So my sleep schedule, my whole life was just out of whack because of this work schedule. So I would just, in my free time, I just drink or smoke. And then I just have like, whether I'm using an outlet or not, I'd be doing these crazy things. Like it'd be 3 a.m. and I'd be like, what if I stapled a piece of bread to a cupboard and smeared peanut butter with my hand on this piece of bread, you know, and post that on Snapchat.
Those are like the Snapchat.
Yeah.
That kind of like the vines that people would used to make.
Dude, that's so crazy. Like, I'm still like, you know, like there's early adopters to technology. I'm like an old adopter. I'll wait till like a phone is 2 generations old to get it. Partially because I'm cheap, but it's also like at the time, I'm like, I don't need that. And then I saw Vine and I was like, this is like what I need. If I can do something big with this, then like I'll have a platform to do what I want. Because like ultimately, I guess To answer your question, like my end goal is just like whatever I want to create. I just want to know that there's people out there who are like, oh man, I can't wait to see what he's doing next, you know? Whether it's like like I try music or crazy paintings. I just, not in a conceited way, I just, for me personally, like, and with what's happened in my life that I'm sure we'll talk about later, like, I just feel like there's this void, almost happiness or joy. I do find a sense of pride and joy when like I can elevate someone who might be having a bad day.
Okay.
Or something like that. So I think right now that's what stand-up is taking me to. That might not be the end goal, but it's definitely a means to my end, I guess I should say.
You said you're a late adopter.
Yeah.
When did you start making those Snapchat videos?
Okay, so maybe 2 years ago was the tail end. So I want to say 3 years ago, I got a Snapchat. Like I could not use Vine, and I was just, my heart was destroyed because I just knew like people were kind of ragging on it a bit, but I was like, the TikTok of that time, like if you miss that boat, like you're waiting for the next thing, right? And so I was just so mad at myself, and then I saw Snapchat, and at first I honestly, like, it's so sad, I did not understand it. I was like, why? Who would want to? Who would want to do this? And then I realized like you can do some crazy things, and it's like if you save it, cool, like you have the footage, but like they can only see it twice.
So you've saved it?
I can tell you right now, if I turn this phone on and open it up, I have almost every snap that I've sent. My score went from 0, and I think it's sitting at 48,000.
48,000.
But like the ratio of sent to received, 75% sent to 25% received. Okay. So like that, all of that score came from everyone on my snap list. I would manually click on all of them and send it, whether they wanted it or not. And if they were like, I don't like this, I'm like, you're just gonna have to remove me because I'm going to do this anyways. And then I got into gardening for some reason. So I was growing watermelons, and part of like the whole thing too was every day I would like send an update snap as like a weird character.
Okay.
It was like some of them were boring, but like people were eating it up. And people at work started to find out that I had Snapchat. And so they would be like, oh, I hear you doing crazy things on Snap. Let me add you. And so it just snowballed. And I literally went from like 50 points to like that 48,000 within one summer. And it got to a point, there was this guy online, he's out in Vegas, and he owns like a clothing company. And it's kind of controversial. Like they're very controversial. They have like bravery discounts for shirts that like if you wear that in public in the wrong place, like, you know,
okay,
if something happens to you, like it's like if you wear that in certain places, like, and this is the thing too, is this guy isn't making these shirts because he's like, oh, I want to hurt people's feelings, but he's very much of like, I believe like you should be able to express yourself. And it's very interesting because like you were talking about this earlier, Omar, where it's, how do you navigate in this world where, I don't like saying it, but like almost PC culture. And he's basically being like, well, yeah, like obviously we have to respect each other, and that's what he talks about. But like his whole thing, he has a manifesto. The site is called shirtitwascash.com. Check them out. It's really cool. He started his own company. Everything is quality controlled by him. I'm pretty sure he has his own production methods with people who like, they figured out how to make the best quality shirt. And I can tell you, like, the shirts that I bought and that he's given to me, they still like, they have not faded after like a year or two. His brand and his message really resonated with me. And he's the kind of guy where if you added him on social media and you message him, he will get back to you. So I added this guy on Snap, right? And I just started sending snaps to him, and he was opening them, and he would like respond like, oh, that was good, I like that one.
So this guy makes enough money that he can stay in business and even with like controversial stuff on his shirts.
Yeah, but like what's cool too though is it's not like he's making them. He comes from the meme culture, right? And like he knows 4chan and he knows like all the internet stuff that like if you know type of stuff. And I'm going to be saying that a lot because I can't swear, so I apologize. It's going to be very bland, but no, he all his stuff is almost user submitted. So he has a website supplementary to this where anyone can go online, they can design a t-shirt and people will vote for it.
Oh, and they vote for I was wondering how they come and decide.
Like, a lot of these shirts are like people have made them. It's the FUBU of trolls, for us, by us.
I can see it in like a small setting, like a get together, like a little house party. And
that's
like
it's hilarious.
The funny guy, right?
Yeah.
Wearing that stuff. Have you ever thought of compiling videos and uploading them on YouTube?
Of the snaps?
Yeah, like what World Star does, or some other sites do that.
Well, this is what's crazy that I was getting to, actually. So one day, I'm kind of exposing myself. I hope my dad doesn't listen to this. One day I broke our microwave doing a snap. So like...
What you put on it? Or in it?
So I was like... It was like sad music. Like, I think it was Chicago's like, if you leave me now.
Yeah.
And I had like a bunch of leftover food. And I just threw it into the microwave. Tossed it like... I was holding the container it was in. I just loose. There's like food all in the microwave, and I turned it to like 9999 and pressed start. Right?
Yeah.
And so this guy messages me. He's like, "Hey, can I talk to you? Get Discord." So I get Discord, and I'm talking to him, and he's like, "I really like your stuff, and I want to use it to like in my like social media."
This is the shirt guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Crazy, right? So he was like, "I love it. I want to use it." And I think one of the videos was I'm trying to flip a grilled cheese in a pan. Right? And it's like the Rocky theme is playing, and it's so crazy. Like, it blows my mind to be saying this out loud that this happened. He's like, "I want to use this stuff. Send me a Google Docs link, put all the videos you want. I'd prefer that they're in first person," which is what I was doing, just kind of like vlog style almost, first person. And he just took stuff, and every so often, because I follow him, I'd click on his story and it would be me. And it was the weirdest thing ever. And he's like, "I'm going to send you a bunch of stuff." So he sent me a bunch of shirts, a bunch of hats.
Was it for free, or did you have to pay for it?
No. He sent me a package.
Okay.
He sent me like a package. I have like phone cases and like a laptop bag.
All with that
like
image?
Hats, shirts. No, they were varied.
Oh, okay.
They were all varied. I'm actually wearing one right now. It's like a Harambe in like a spacesuit.
Okay.
It looks like an astronaut. Like
so that's how it started.
That's where I thought, like, yeah, like if I just post every day, if I just make at least one snap every day, and some of them are bad. Like some of them not like offensive. It's just like I watch them every once in a while. I'm like, what were you doing?
What, you mean you like cringe from it?
I cringe, but like I know at the time I was like, yo, people like ate that up.
Yeah.
It was weird. There was a lot of like cigarettes involved at the time because I was like a smoker, and it was like, here's a cool cigarette trick, and I'd like take a puff and then just start like hacking up a lung. Like, that's the trick. But it was like, and like people loved it. Or just like these weird characters that like I just make up. Like the one guy is like, I made like a do-rag out of a t-shirt and was wearing like Oakley blue blockers, like these ugly sunglasses. And the whole joke, I'd act like, "Oh, I'm a gangster. What up, guys? Here's my rap." And then I'd play like a beat. And for like the rest of the snap, I'd be like, "Oh, yeah.
And that was it.
Okay." And right before the snap ends, it'd be like, I'd start like what sounds like a verse, and it would just be the biggest clickbait, because you're just sitting there, and it would be like, wait for it, and they would just be, and I'd be like, oh, and like an instrumental's playing, right?
Yeah.
And like people ate that up, and I was just like, I wasn't sure if it was the jokes or me at the time, because that's something I always wonder too, and I don't know if with what you guys do is like, is it me personally, or is it just like somehow I connected things that worked and someone else could have done that, you know?
So do you have kind of an idea if it's you or the ideas?
I think it's a bit of both. I definitely think like there's not that many guys out there at 3 a.m. being like, let's smear peanut butter on like bread you stapled to your cabinets at 3 a.m. You know? And it's like, it sounds so ridiculous, but like that's what I was doing with my time, and it was like, it was the best but worst time.
When did you add stand-up comedy to the mix?
So I tried it. Well, I guess this is kind of a bit of a, I got to go back. There was very little parental supervision. Like my grandma kind of took care of us because we lived with her, and my mom and dad worked restaurants, so like they worked late. I remember watching like Just for Laughs stand-up specials like as a child. Like this was stuff like, you know, you shouldn't let your kids see. But I was like watching it, and like it's so weird because it's like I didn't understand everything, but I knew it was funny, right? Like I think innately I just understand humor and comedy. And then around...
How old were you?
I was probably like 7.
Like 7?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like I was not old enough, but it was like, it was weird because I remember seeing like old Dane Cook, and that killed me. It was just everything at the time. And then like Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, like all these like black comedians, like Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, and like they were talking about things that like, not even like age-wise, just racial issues that like I could never understand. The way that they were presenting these things, and like just the way that they were dealing with it like not like, oh haha, like they had like a bad life, but like, or like a bad situation, but it was just, wow, like these guys are taking something that like people have tried to hurt them with, not only like empowering themselves and like propelling themselves, but like showing people like, yeah, like I didn't let that get the best of me. And I was like, that's, I just understood, you know. And then when I was 13, my mom, she, this is sad, but don't feel sad for me, everyone, because it's fine. She left, like just literally left a note on the fridge and left. And that was like, I think, really traumatizing, but it also was kind of eye-opening, because I was like, I remember just like trying to crack jokes, like just trying to be funny. Like I was never like, maybe you could answer that, Omar. I don't think I was ever the class clown in school. Like I was kind of like quiet and shy. And I think part of it was because of that, because that's like grade 7, like going into high school, like very weird, because not only are you dealing with growing up and all that, oh yeah, my mom just left. It's like, it was weird. It's like, oh, they're split up, like I'll see her on the weekend. It's like, to this day, like don't know where she is.
You still don't?
No contact. It kind of made me be like I was saying earlier, like, yeah, like I've had like a few bad hands dealt to me, but like I know like I can brighten someone's day, and it's kind of for me like a respite from like not only like the sad memories of the past, but like the crummy things to come, I guess.
Yeah. Because
it's like, oh, like bad things happen in life, guys. I'm sorry that like I have to tell you this, but like...
So did you take the cue from those comedians that you watched earlier? Like,
yeah,
Dave Chappelle,
it was just like, yo,
Chris
like
Rock.
these guys were, you know, like they were dealing with things, and it was like, that was their outlet. I didn't really pursue it until I turned 19.
Okay. And
there is this place that's closed now called Big League Comedy downtown. And I went there, and it was, no offense to them, they're gone now, but like, it was such a bad venue to do stand-up because there was no stage. It was maybe like a foot platform that was like 5 by 5 feet, you know, in the corner of a room. And there was no real sitting space like where you can watch them. It was just lined with couches and some standing tables. And I don't even remember the joke. Like I've blocked most of this memory out of my mind. But like the biggest laugh I got was like a guy sharply exhaling from his nose, like he did one of those, but he was on his phone, right?
Really?
So it's like maybe someone just texted him
maybe
something
he saw,
funny.
like, a funny text.
And I just was like, after my set, it was like 5 minutes, like I got off and I drank, and even the bartender, she was like obviously playfully, but like she was just kind of being like, oh, that was a rough set, kid. I was like, yeah, you're telling me, like.
So you were 19. Was this before like the Snapchat stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think too, like something else. I originally, and like this is really, I guess, just it culminates to what I've been saying this whole time, but like I wanted to do film. Like I love movies, I love film and all that. Like if I wasn't doing stand up, I'd be making just short films or something. So I went to Fanshawe for like half a year, like one semester. And there's like admittedly like mental health issues. It wasn't for me. Not to drag it, but I realized that like yeah, you're learning like how to work in a studio, but I didn't want that. So the way I saw it for me, why would I pay $2,500 like a semester for, or however much it was, for connections effectively? Because I didn't want to do broadcasting television, and I would have had to gone through like 2 whole years and then advanced filmmaking just to get to a point where I can do what I want to do without a portfolio, and that didn't make sense to me. So I was like, you know what, school's just not for me. I don't think I'm ever going to go back. Not like in a bitter way, it's just certain people have jobs, you need to go to school. And it's like sick, but that's just not for me. I know like everything I need I already have or can like improve. I feel like I sound so pompous, but like yeah, I just like I know like I've got it in me to do it again. It was around that time where like I was out of school, I was kind of directionless. It's like people would say it, but like it's not that I didn't believe them. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do stand up at the time. It was really weird. People were like, you should try stand up. You'd be really good at it. And it's like, yeah, like I can make my friends laugh, or like, you know, if we're all hanging out after this, like I can make you guys laugh. I didn't think I could just, you know, like construct a joke.
Was that before or after like that show that you talked about?
All of this, like the school and stuff,
Yeah.
It was before.
It was before, okay.
Yeah. I dropped out of school. Like I just finished the semester, and I felt so bad because the one teacher I really liked, and like, hey man, like I know you had a rough go, but like I'll see you next semester. Like you can do this. And I was like, yeah. But like I just knew I was like, I'm not ever coming back. Like that's the one person I think. There's a few in my life where I'd be like, yeah, I should have been like, hey, thank you, like, because they helped me so much. I feel like I've disrespected them in a way, but like it's cool because now like that I'm doing this, it's like I have a chance.
Okay.
Go back and be like, hey, like you helped me. I was able to do that.
So I just want to know what goes on in like your mind when you like bomb so bad, like you mentioned like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? First of all, how do you deal with that, and then how do you then like continue and decide, oh, I want to do a little bit more of this, and I'm probably gonna get better.
See, okay, here's the thing too. So 19, just to clarify, 19, I do a few sets and I bomb them all. And I just like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. And that's kind of where like the snap stuff came up. Like in between that time from when I was 19 to now. Like I turned 26 in May. And so like I was just doing nothing. Like I was just working at like a fast food job. And it was bad. And then I found Snap, and I was like, okay, like I'm doing something right. And then I was just drinking with some buddies, and my one friend is like, man, like you got to do stand up. Like you really got to do it, man. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like it was almost to like shut them up. Like I'll do it.
Yeah.
Whatever, just stop. And so I wrote a bunch of stuff, and it's so crazy to me, like in that first set that I ever did, like there was like a 9/11 joke.
Okay.
And I started in August, so I've only been at it for 7 months, so like I still don't know how to deal with it. I don't even know how to answer that question, but like how to deal with bombing, because I feel like right now I don't deal with it on the spot.
Yeah.
Before I would have been like, oh, that joke's bad. Like if I looked out in the crowd and they're not laughing, I'd be like, oh, that was bad, and then I'd go to the next one.
Okay.
Like the next joke. But now I just kind of like I tough it out. Even if I know that the joke is going bad, I'll try to like fix it at like reading the crowd. But if the show goes bad, it's a bad show.
Have you had shows though that went well?
Oh.
Where they're just like dying, slapping their hip?
Well, that's what's crazy actually. There's like this thing in comedy where if you go there taking things seriously, you're like assuming that like what people are saying is like what they hold true, like it's going to be a bad time.
Yeah. I
respect and love everyone in a way. If something tragic happened, right? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, like, make a joke about it.
Yeah.
But also, I think there are ways to make fun of a situation or, like, shed light on a situation where you're not, like, disrespecting people.
So not like make fun, make light.
Yeah, with that whole 9/11 joke, it's like, it's me being like a jerk, kind of. And I'm like, my buddy said, like, this is pretty much the joke. So here's a little sample. And this was like in the first set I ever did, and people actually laughed at it. And it blew my mind because I was afraid they were going to hate me. And so my buddy says that even if you're surrounded by your loved ones, you die alone. And then I say, but that's not true because a plane hit the World Trade Center and those people all died together. And then people are kind of like, and then I'm like, but that's not anecdotal evidence because it happened twice. So that's statistics.
Okay.
But the thing is, you can take it at that face level of like, oh my gosh, he's making fun of what happened. But if you see the way I do the joke and the way I am, I'm making fun of myself, really. That, like, someone could think that's a justifiable answer. Like, something stupid that someone's friend said. You know what I mean? Like, who on earth would really, like, in an argument be like, well, actually, Bradley, 2 planes hit the World Trade Center, so you're wrong. It was so crazy how, like, I was assuming the worst of people.
Yeah.
But, like, they got it, you know? Like, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, like, this is what he's making fun of. Easily someone could interpret it as being disrespectful. I would almost argue at that point, like, you're not truly listening or you have ulterior motives. Because I've never really met a comic. The community here is pretty tight, and I think I know all the comics, most of them. I've never met one who is trying to be hurtful. That, like, 9 out of 10, like, obviously, like, I don't know these people's lives. Maybe they are, like, bigoted in some way, but, like, I've never felt like their jokes reflected that.
Yeah.
You know? I think that's what scared me the most. And then when I realized that wasn't an issue, it was kind of all just like self-doubt almost, it felt like. You know what I mean? Where it'd be like, oh, that wasn't good enough, or like, I didn't like this. But like afterwards, people that I would invite would be like, why'd you stop that joke? Like, it was good. And it's like, I thought I was bombing. And they're like, no, like, you were fine, you know? I guess for the bombing question is, as well as like the uproarious, like, oh my gosh, you just got to ignore it until after the show. Or not even, you know, like on YouTubers are like, don't read the comments. I just try not to perceive that until after. I feel like it dilutes or even like kind of contaminates my set, because now I'm not like focused on like telling you a good joke and like making you have a good time. Now I'm like, do they like it? And like, it's almost like desperation. Like, you can smell that on someone a mile away. Yeah. And it's not good. Like, it ruins whatever they're doing. And that was the first time I ever got an applause break. Within 7 months, right?
Yeah. How long are these sets that you
5-minute open mics.
5 minute.
And you could show up tomorrow night, Poacher's Arms, 9 p.m. Come out, people.
I've been in one of those before.
Yeah. You've been in, or you've been to?
No, sorry. I've been to watch.
Yeah. Like, you could go and just sign up if you just want to try it out. So we call it like comedy gym, because like that's where you go to like work out your material. And I just thought, like, I think this could be its own thing. And after I did that, 2 people separately, one guy right after the show, he came up to me and he says, listen, I've got a show coming up the 21st, like, of this month. And he's like, I want you to do that set. He's like, I want you to do 5 minutes of that set. And I have him on Facebook, but it said he tagged me in something. And then I found out he put a post right after, because he's like, I'm going to pay you, you're going to do that set. He's like, I've never seen a room like that. He posted, have you ever seen a set so good that you had to book it right away? It was like when that package from that t-shirt guy came in. And it was like within like months of me doing that, it was like, wow, like this paid off.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the show. That's all the time that we have for this week. But join us again next episode as we conclude our conversation with this week's guest. If you or somebody you know would like to be on the show, hit us up on any of our social media. We are Collective Journey on Facebook. We are Collective Journey on YouTube. We are Collective_Journey on Instagram. And always remember, this is not just my adventure, but it's yours as well. This is our collective journey.